Hello community, it's time for another pickups video. So today when I went out to do, pick up games and stuff, today was a little bit of a different day. The whole family went. It was myself, Mrs. J, my wife, littleB, my son. We all went out today and went game shopping. Now, my only intent going out today was actually looking for NES games. Well, we, of course, got more than that because the whole family went out. But the first stop today was Toys R Us. And the reason it was first was because my wife really wants Ninjini, the last Skylander Giant figure, the huge giant figure that was released for Skylander Giants. And we've been looking for it. We haven't been able to, find it. And Toys R Us also started a sale today, which they've had a lot of sales on Skylanders. And she called over there asking if they had it, what giants they had, because we only need 3 huge giant figures to get all the big ones at least, because there are only, 8 giants, I believe. Anyway. So they had Ninjini, so we went over there. And we picked up Ninjini, and Eyebrow, which I can't show you either one of those because those automatically went into littleB's store at his grandma's house, because she has a store with a bunch of stuff he likes. In order to get the stuff, he has to do pages like math, writing, stuff like that. So in order to get those 2 figures, he has to do writing, and he's going to work really hard to get Ninjini because he promised my wife that was her figure. But he had a choice to pick one figure he could keep now, and he kept Hothead, which is a lot like a Raptor, just bigger. So we now have about really half of all the Skylander Giant figures, really. And really, there are, if you really want to get technical, there are a bunch of rare and limited edition figures. Like GameStop had a Scarlet Ninjini figure and stuff that came out. So if you really want to dig into it, there are a lot more than 46 or 48 figures. But anyway, we are going to end up getting Skylanders Swap Force when it comes out. We all like the game and enjoy it. So it's funny how much I enjoy this, even though, technically this is really just DLC, but because the figures look so awesome and they can sit on my shelf really good, I for some reason I don't mind buying them. Of course, again, here's a guy who collects Transformers over the years, so maybe he's collecting the action figure thing. But after that was done, we went to a Mega Replay, and I was only there to look at NES games. And we were there to look for a game for my wife, Ni no Kuni, which she actually rented from her library yesterday, which I was surprised they had that game for rent there. The whole time we did the live stream last night, 4 hours for the live stream, and then an hour after we were talking, well, really an hour, 5 hours total, because we talked 30 minutes before we started and 30 after, so she was playing the game the whole time, just totally addicted to it, right? One of those things where basically she quit playing the game at 3 in the morning, right? That's how much she loved the game. So we went there to look for that. They didn't have Ni no Kuni there, but I did find some really awesome NES games. Now, I always like to talk about prices of certain games and rare games I find, because I like people to understand, where I'm at, the idea of how much certain games are going for, right? Because despite all the charts, they really don't accurately, show what, in certain areas, what the things are going for. It's just more of an online thing. And they had a game that I really would have picked up if I really didn't want these other games. And the game they did have was the Micro Machines, the original one for the NES, which they had that mark at $15. And the reason why it's so easy to tell the Micro Machine game card and any of the others is because it's all gold, like the Zelda card is. So I really that would have been the one game, if I had more money, I would have picked that game up. But they did also get in today the original Kirby for the NES. I think they had that for like $17. But the reason I put those 2 games aside was for one game that is getting an HD remake that I really, really wanted when I saw it, and that was DuckTales by Capcom. Ironically enough, when we got in the car after we went to Mega Replay, I had to play the remastered, reveal trailer that played the DuckTales song, but got it for $10. I'm really glad I got it. I really want to play this game through on the NES, and of course I love the old Disney artwork. We're gonna have a Capcom theme here going because I love a lot of old Capcom games and their artwork. And so this one by Capcom USA is, of course, Code Name Viper, which I paid $3 for. This is a really good game. I just love that it says state-of-the-art high resolution on the very top of it. You might not be able to see it, but this game, I know I rented this game a lot, and this is one of those situations where I know I played this game a lot by the cover, because I remember looking at this cover and getting the game, because back then in the NES games, you rented or bought a lot of games based on just the artwork. And I remember renting this a lot, but I just can't remember a lot about the game, but I know I did like this game, so I'm really glad to have it in my collection. I know, again, a lot of people recommend this game. The next one is an arcade favorite of mine, released on the NES under the Ultra brand, which of course was Konami's spin-off brand to release more games, and that was Gyrus, the old arcade game. I paid $3 for it. I really like this arcade game. This was a very unique arcade game back in the day because, you could just basically go back and forth to shoot the enemies kind of thing. And I really did like this game. Graphically, I loved this game in the day. It was just so unique. So I'm glad to have it back in the collection. And this year, I plan on focusing a lot on my NES. No, I got the top loader. Now, I have mentioned in videos before that Strider on the Genesis, I really wasn't a big fan of that game. I beat that game rather easily, to be honest with you. But I don't remember playing this one, though I do love the artwork on it. And that is Strider for the NES. Paid $4 for it. Now we're through the Capcom section of the NES pickups. Because the last pickup I had was from SCI. And I know I played this from the cover. Again, I don't remember the gameplay of it. And this is, what, Cycross? SEI Cross. Basically, the cover looks like a Tron-like game. It was only $2, so I'll have to put it in and try it. Again, I also buy games games based on artwork still to this day on this system because I love the artwork. So good to have those in the collection. But there was one other thing that actually my wife showed me to pick up for myself, but it really wasn't for myself kind of thing. It's like, you want this, but this probably isn't exactly for you either. Because she goes, this is Dragon Quest VI, what's it called? Realms of Revelation. Now, I have Dragon Quest IV on the DS, and she asked me about she get this, and I go, oh yeah, it was out on the DS. She goes, it was? I go, yeah, I have number 4, number 9 on the DS. She goes, well, why didn't you get number 6? I go, well, at the time, I was getting different games. I never picked up 5 or 6. And she goes, well, you should get it. So, because now she wants to play it, because she looked through the strategy guide. And so they didn't have it there, but we'll find it eventually. I love the artwork in these old strategy guides. Now, the thing about my regular replay, talking about retro stores and the way they price these things, I never see a strategy guide there more than $7. I don't know whether it's the people who give it to them, like they don't pay anything for it, or just want to get rid of it, or there's just not a high price for strategy guides at their store. But again, this was only $2, and I absolutely love the artwork in these books. The one thing I love about strategy guides has always been the great artwork. Just the great character artwork in there. You just got, and the great map design and stuff. That's one thing I've always loved is the old, just love this about going through strategy guides. But, I'm really glad to have this in my collection. So now this makes me want to get 5 and 6. And of course, I need the strategy guide for 5. So that's really cool to have in the collection. But there was one last game we got to Mega Replay. And this was a game that littleB picked up. He actually spent more than I did, unbelievably not, at Mega Replay. He really loves this game. He ran it several times on the 360. He loves it. And actually, when I first brought this, when he asked me, I said, take it to your mother kind of thing to make sure it was all right. Because I'll say yes, because I love video games, right? It's $25. And again, this is a case where she surprised me. She said yes. She also, by the way, in case you want to know, originally I was only going to get 3 games. I was only going to originally get for the NES DuckTales, Codename Viper, and Strider, but she said, hey, pick up 2 more. And so that's how I got Gyrus and Cycross. And this game he picked up was Sonic All-Star Racing Transformed. Now, this is the bonus edition, and you're asking, what's the difference in the bonus edition? Well, in this edition, it comes with Outrun Bay track and challenges, Metal Sonic and mods, and in-game stickers. So the only thing I can say about this game is I like the racing kart part of the game. I thought they could have done a better job with the flying and the boat racing part of the game, but it doesn't ruin the game for me. It's just, when I play, I go, it would have been better if they would have just tweaked this part a little bit better. But still, love this game. He loves playing this game. He could play this, for hours by himself. He did have problems with the other one because I think at times certain tracks, like the original one, you didn't exactly know where to go. So he loves it, and I'm glad to have it in the collection. So another 360 game, cool. Now, there was one last pickup for today. Again, it was Ni no Kuni. They didn't have it at Mega Replay. So I know we'd been to Toys R Us. They didn't have it there. I know this game is not going to be easy to find. Though at my Mega Replay, I really wanted to pick up the Zone of Enders collection. But anyway, so we went to GameStop. Now listen, GameStop is always my last stop for games. I don't like going there unless I have to be honest with you. But she liked this game so much. We went into GameStop, right? And they had it. They had both new and used, of course, and the new version, brand new was $40, and used was $37. It was a $3 difference. And my wife is like me. You know what? I'd rather buy it brand new than pay $3 for it used, because I know you guys just did something so you could charge only, you know, I know they did something so that they could make it used and charge $3 less. So she did buy it new. Here it is right here. Again, she liked this game. This game looks Studio Ghibli, like one of their movies. It is amazing looking. And she goes, "What? You dropped the ball on that?" I go, "No, I didn't. I told you about it when it came out. At the time, you just were ignoring me, or you just weren't paying attention." So we got it. And, you know, while we were there, you know, she had him ask him about the Skylanders, like if they had any limited edition versions, and they didn't have it there. So that's basically all my pickups. A lot of great pickups. Especially, I'm glad to get the NES pickups. So today, you know, around here is basically going to be a gaming day for the family. So thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you for another video soon.